You're amazing. Oh my God, guys. Who you are, the people that belong in your life would accept you. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am still working on the jingle or the intro, but I was supposed to release this video a week after the first video, and then yeah, it happened again. I wasn't consistent. Oh my God, I told myself I was going to be very consistent, but I couldn't. Bear with me because I feel like the topics that I talk about or I'll be talking about, it's really stuff that comes to me, and then when I feel ready, I would know I'm ready to talk about it. So today I'm going to talk about reclaiming your identity, the power of being whole again, being you. Your identity is never lost. You know, who you are has always been within you. You just need to find your way back and find a way to pull out that person again. I'm going to tell you a few things that I've noticed on how we kind of like lose our identities, and maybe from experience as well. Number one, I would say we can lose our identities through basically social media. I think social media puts you in a position where you have to sometimes follow a trend, or if you share a bit of yourself that people engage a lot with, you're forced to keep up the pace with that identity that you shared, even though it might be part of you but not all of you. Because of how it drew engagements, you become, I don't know how to say it, but you end up wanting to do more of that particular part of you so that you can get more engagement, and it all stems into people pleasing and validation from what people will say to you if you don't already believe it in yourself. So when you go on social media and say maybe one day you had a lovely time, pictures were good, the experience was amazing, people love it, it doesn't mean that we expect you. In reality, it doesn't mean that every day that is your life, right? But because now if you switch that type of content into something else and people don't give it as much engagement as you would expect, you start to think that, okay, maybe people like this version of me, or people like it when I'm doing stuff like this, or people like it when they see stuff like this. So you end up trying to only portray that lifestyle or that identity. And I think we need to really take a look at that on social media. If you are ever caught up in a space where you feel like you, sometimes this is what I do when I'm about to post something. I used to post a lot, but now I don't even do that. When I'm about to post something, now the first thing I think about is, why am I posting this? Does this feel good? Am I posting this because I want people to see that I'm living the good life? I'm posting this because I feel good about it, because this is reality. Some days I won't be in this space, some days I won't be in this room, some days I would be in a room that is not as nice as this, someday I would be outside in a restaurant that is not as beautiful as the first picture that I posted, and that's perfectly fine. So now I just really take my time to know what I want to share, though I'm really big on self-branding. I think that at the same time you have to tweak in a way that you let people see parts of you that they can put together and know that this is the whole you. You're not just here to show the glitz and glamour, unless of course a lot of people have different reasons why they create content. People do it for work, people do it for their small businesses to get customers, people do that, content creators, and now they become like PRs and stuff. So I think everybody has their own reason for posting content online, so you have to really check that. There's the second thing I'll talk about is pressure to fit in. It's kind of intertwined with what I said in the beginning. I think it starts from your environment. Growing up, the spaces you were in, the school you went to, the type of friends you had at church, in your neighborhood, your parents' friends, your cousins. It goes on and on and on. And we're all not the same. I think for some of us, we were in spaces that weren't really like us, but our family did their best to make sure that we didn't feel like we lack anything. But when you grow up, circles start to change. The people that fit in a certain circle start to get closer, and then the differences become more obvious as you're growing. When you're kids, you don't know you're different. You think, oh my God, we all go to the same school, we all wear the same clothes and stuff, so like we're the same. But then when you grow, you start to realize that you are not the same. You were in the same school, but you're really not the same. And I think for me, I got to a point where I was trying so hard to not feel that. The more I realized that I was trying to like fight it, it was like I didn't want to accept it. And I think it was pulling me into this world or this state where I was forcing myself to become someone instead of taking time to bloom into who I am meant to be, to experience what I have to experience in my life. And not that I was going to accept being less or unworthy, but it was, if I think about it now, it's like accepting yourself to grow and want to be better or want to achieve things that you desire in your heart. And so yeah, I think for me, basically a lot of things happened that made me realize that, and I started working on myself, and the energy I have in me, it's amazing. I just keep going. But yeah, the third thing I will talk about is lack of representation. That's a very big thing that people lose their identity through. Sometimes who you want to become, you don't find yourself surrounded by those people. Not to say that who you're surrounded by does not hold value. Everybody around you holds value. They are there to teach you something, okay? But sometimes maybe where you want to be, you aspire to be somewhere much bigger than anybody probably in your family has ever been or your friends have ever been. And you don't have the people around you to, people that represent that identity. So I feel like we all have something in us that let us know who we are, and we're hungry for it. We're hungry to achieve it. But people struggle with finding the right people to mentor them, to guide them, or seeing or experiencing what it's like to be that person. So the lack of representation can sometimes make you get lost. You try so many things and it will never work, and then you're just confused, like, if this is who I feel I am and I'm not living up to that dream, you feel empty somewhere. So lack of representation is something that really affects people. Now, how do you reclaim your identity? How do you find yourself again? How do you remember who you are? Because like I said, who you are is already within. You just need to find that person again. That person is crying inside of you, wanting to come out, wanting the world to see him or her. So the first thing I'll talk about is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for your experiences. Forgive yourself for your habits, your past mistakes, things that you didn't allow yourself to experience, opportunities that you missed, mistakes, the way you treated yourself not even just how you treated people, but the way you treated yourself, the things that you didn't allow yourself to feel, and the things you allowed yourself to go through, for all the times you couldn't speak life into yourself, but it was so easy to speak life into other people. It was so easy to want to help others, fix people, especially losing yourself just so other people can be happy. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for everything. You know what I'm trying to say? That's one. You cannot reclaim your identity if you don't forgive your past mistakes. You can't let the past keep holding you. You need to learn to move forward. And I feel like that's one thing that I also struggled with, accepting that I made certain mistakes and allowing myself to move without guilt and without that heavy heart or the heavy weight dragging me back. Now I just move lightly because the past is done, and I've learned from it, and now I'm just ready to go forward, because you can only move forward. You can't go back. It's done. But you can learn from that. Pray about it. Make sure you don't repeat it, and be better. Be happier. Don't dwell on the past, okay? The second thing is awareness. You need to have quiet times. Sometimes we have quiet times by praying. Sometimes you have quiet times by meditating. Quiet times by just be there. Just think about stuff. I'm not saying drown yourself in negative thoughts or thoughts that might put you in depressive mode, but just reflect on some things. Are you you? Or are you who you want people to think you are? Are you wearing a mask because you don't want people to see who you really are? Do you think because of the circle and the environment you find yourself, people wouldn't accept you if you change? Do you think the moment you change, all the benefits that came with it, you're going to lose? Believe me, if you think of all these things, it allows you to understand if you are being yourself or you're someone else. And it's fine if you're someone else. It's not too late to be who you are. If you don't do this now, you will forever be stuck in a space where you might be doing all the right things. You might be living beautifully and everything, but you feel something in you. You're not complete. And it doesn't allow you to have the people that are meant to be in your life around you. You see, if you stay long in environments that you could only stay in by being someone else that isn't truly who you are, it doesn't create space for the right people to come your way. And it's funny because the moment you start being who you are, really from within, the right people that are meant to be in your life start to navigate to you. There's this quote by Les Brown. He said that the graveyard is the richest place on earth. You know, that's where you find all the hopes and the dreams that were never fulfilled. The books that were never written, the songs that were never sung or heard, the inventions, the ideas. Personally, that is why I'm doing this. I have been here before. This started with me writing a book in senior high school, making videos, stopping, starting, stopping. That was me struggling with my identities. A lot of people that pay attention to me, for example, on my Instagram, I struggled a lot with the identity I was portraying to the world, because at a point I was confident with who I was, who I thought I was. But I got to a point where it was hard to figure out if who that person in the photos is and who I was feeling that, or who I felt that I was. I didn't feel the same. So I would delete my pictures. I think I went through so many phases. Oh my God. I think we all gone through different phases, but I think I went through so many phases. Content creator phase, and then the corporate phase, and then the body, and then the nerd, and then the nature, and then the I don't know what phase I'm in, but I love it. And I think it's what has helped me, because this is what brings me to my next point. Your identity doesn't really mean that you're gonna stay the same. Okay? One day you're gonna like something, the next day you might not like it anymore, and that's perfectly fine. This video that I'm making, there are some things that I'm gonna say, probably in 5 years time I might not even agree with it, and that is why you grow. That is growth. That doesn't mean, honestly, I don't know what it means, but it's growth. You have every right to wake up tomorrow morning and just be different, just like that. And you don't owe anybody an explanation unless it offends them in any way, or you think that you have to at least explain things to them because it would affect some things that you have in common with them, or a relationship that you have with them, or connection that you have with them. But you know, I think sometimes we try to find our identity in things, and some people it's the work they do, some people it's their body, some people it's their face, some people their whole identity is where they live, some people it's their friendship circles, others is a language they speak, for others their family, for others their degree. Everybody has what they identify as, and it's up to you to figure out who you want people to see. For me, I thought it just had to be perfect. I'm way more than that. It was so hard for me to figure out, I can sing, I can do this, I can draw, I can write a book, I can work. I was like, okay, but which one should I stick with? You know, but you can do everything, really. We've all done multiple things. This is new to me, but because I love this, I'm hoping this allows me to see clearly who I actually am. I haven't got it all figured out at all, but by doing things I love, not caring about the views or the followers or the likes or what people will say, but if it reflects with who I really am from inside, it gives me a lot of satisfaction because it's for me. So live for you, live for you. The right people will come to you, they will appreciate it. The more you do for others, the more you lose yourself, because you're giving energy to them, you're feeding them good energy. But if they're not feeding that to you, even if they are feeding it to you, it will never be enough, because you have to feed yourself good energy. So that's what I want to say about just reclaiming your identity. A few tips that I would give is journal. If you don't like to journal or write a lot, you think you don't have time, use voice memos or recordings. Talk to yourself every night or whenever, every week. Make sure you have at least a quiet time to yourself where you're talking to yourself or whatever, but you're alone. And just go back to it sometimes and listen to yourself. And another tip or another app that I would want you people to start using is Future Me. So you can get the website or download the app. Write letters to yourself. This is not a promo or an ad. This is something I use. I've written letters from the past, and I've written that I'm supposed to receive this year from 2023, and others that I've written 2025 that I'm probably going to receive in 2027 or 2029 or 2030. Some of them come as reminders, some of them come as motivation. So I think you're gonna love it. It's called Future Me, so you should check that out as well. You're amazing. Oh my god, guys. Who you are, the people that belong in your life will accept you. And when people start to see you embrace yourself more, they start to treat you more with grace, with respect, with truth. So live for you.